Okay, not long to go. Oh, what's going on? What's going on, Ant? Yeah, and we're doing everything live these days, by the way. I'm just going to keep it on this stream. What is up? You're about to find out what's up. Had a little while to calm down after. I was barely even calmed down after the Bournemouth game, and after this Sheffield United game, it's terrible. So I'm glad you're doing well in every facet except for the football team you support, obviously. But I'm right. I'll be right back. I gotta go wash my hands and do some other stuff for like the last minute and 50 seconds. So I'll be right back. Hold tight. You're gonna like this, by the way. If you got any questions you want me to answer, quickly put them in the chat, and I'll get to those right off the bat before I go into my spiel. Okay, I'm back. You can ask Everton related questions if you want to hear my opinion on anything, but stay tuned till the end of the video because I've got some specialized content that I'll be not specialized, but something that I don't usually do on here, and I'll announce it at the end. But anything related to football or anything else, take those questions. Oh. Yeah, I like how that countdown just suddenly froze for some reason. Oh well, here we go. Yeah, I don't. I don't really um how do you say this? I want to. That's part of the reason I don't show up or want to come over to England and go to an Everton game right now. Because Everton is so unreliable and they're so. Yeah, you spent money on that too, right? You traveled, you spent money, all that, and what did you get out of it? Absolutely nothing. Okay, here we go. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm just straighten this out real quick. See Ants in chat. How's it going? £194. That's what he spent at the Everton game yesterday. How sad is that performance from Everton overall? And that's what we're going to get into. Like, this could be the match reaction. I did an instant match reaction for another channel yesterday, and I didn't really know what to say, so I just kind of said a bunch of stuff that I'd assume most Evertonians are thinking about and saying. And before we start this, obviously the stats on the left of your screen there. Take a look at those really quickly, and let it sink in. But what I'll say is, I've been going around Reddit, right, going around social media, and what is with, I don't know what constitutes a real blue. I did a video like a couple of months ago saying, you know, people that claim to bleed blue and people that claim to love the club and claim to know the ins and outs of the club and understand the ambition and understand the progression and the journey that we're trying to take this club on, that the owners at Forest trying to take us on. And Marcel Brand is trying to take us on. And Denise is trying to take us on. And all the CEOs and all this stuff. That's what we hear. Brand new stadium in the works. We're signing players and all of this. But people still, I don't know if it's because we live in a culture where people don't want, why am I holding this toothpick? But people don't want to admit when something they love, something they enjoy, something that they have passion about is just doing an absolutely horrible fucking job. You know, it's just like being in a relationship and just saying, well, you know, they treat me like shit and they don't listen to me and we don't have any of the same interests. But you know what? You know, but sex is pretty good. Sorry to get lewd, but the sex is all right, you know. But at the end of the day, I don't feel comfortable bringing up these topics. I don't feel comfortable talking about it. So I don't feel what I could do without this person, or, you know, it's not this person's fault. Maybe I should try and adapt myself to this person and try and be a better person for them rather than them like me. All that stuff that goes into it, right? Or a car that keeps breaking down. You keep throwing money on top of money on top of money, and then you end up paying. You're putting parts in that cost twice as much as what you even paid for the car initially. Like a whole bunch of different things that we can talk about. Jeff Thompson in the chat, and in the chat. Get your questions in if you have any. Now we're excited. I'm all pumped up, but I'm still really, really fucking pissed about what happened yesterday. So, but back to the supporters. You go on Reddit, you go on social media, you even go look at some videos. It's all nice and calm. I do not think that we played very well yesterday. And then it gets into this part, right? And I got not into it, but I have to leave a comment on somebody's Instagram post yesterday because I see them talk about, oh, well, Moise Kean has come from Italy and he's adapting to the Premier League, and you know, JP Gabaman's out, and who else are we talking about? Oh, Fabian Delph and this and that, and Alex Iwobi, and they all need time to bed into the system, and they need time to bed into Everton Football Club, and we shouldn't really get on Marco Silva's back too much because he's trying hard, and he's trying to do the best with what he's got, and, you know, it takes time. Bollocks! Bollocks! I say bollocks to that because the simple fact is, I don't know what our scouting is, but when you scout a player, and I said this to this guy, if you scout a player, you obviously look at, A, are they available, and for what price? You get the details, the money, the transfer fee, the wages, the agent's shiesty-ass greedy part of it. And then, but, you know, the second part, or the part before that, before you even get to any of that, the money, the contract, like, you look at the player and say, what attributes does he bring to the team? Where does he fit into the formation that the manager wants to play? And we're all going off the assumption here that Marco Silva's main formation that he wants to play is 4-3-3. Okay, so you're buying players. You're buying JP Gabaman, obviously to place Idrissa Gana Gueye, but not the same type of player, but trying to expand that position to improve on what, maybe take a little less defensively than what Ghana offered, but also to add a little more offensively to what Ghana did. A little bit more guile, a little bit more creative in the final third. If the defensive midfielder even gets into the final third, that's another topic altogether. But we scout the player. So we scouted Alex Iwobi, we scouted Moise Kean, we scouted Fabian Delph, we scouted JP Gabaman, we scouted on Andre Gomez when we bought him in, and Luca Dean when we bought him in, and Yerry Mina when we bought him in. All these players that we bring in, number one, numero eins priority was to see if they fit into what Marco Silva has told Marcel Brands, the style of football that he wants to play, and everybody's involved in bringing in these players. So I don't want to hear shit about Marco Silva doing the best he can with what he's got. He's got exactly what he wanted. Sorry, let me just show this. I need... sorry. Just not monitor trouble. Sometimes things show up because one curse word in, and I don't know how to take the foul language filter off. If anybody knows how to take that filter off, let me know, or I'll look into it for our next stream. But I'm not buying any of this. The players need time to settle in. Alex Iwobi is a proven Premier League player. He's played the Champions League. He's played in the Europa League. He's played in FA Cup finals. He's been a team that challenged for the top 4 and the top 6 over the past couple of seasons. He's got over 100 games in the Premier League under his belt. So Alex Iwobi doesn't need any time to settle in to the team. Neither does Andre Gomez because he was here all of last season. JP Gabaman's been injured, so it doesn't matter. Fabian Delph has come from a team that has won the Premier League 2 years in a row. He's played under one of the best coaches in world football. And don't know, he's played at left back, he's played in centre midfield. He doesn't need any time to bed into this team if he's being bought in and played in the correct positions. Moise Kean, we can cut Moise Kean some slack because he's a young player. You know, that's the only one that I'll say needs time to settle in. But Moise Kean is not the problem with Everton right now. Moise Kean is not the issue with the club, with the tactics, with the strategy, with the manager, with all that stuff. That is not on Moise Kean. So we don't even talk about the scouting. We don't even talk about if the players are even playing in their correct positions. They might be on the pitch. You line it up and say, okay, 4-2-3-1, or however you want that shit formation that we play. But really, if you want to play 4-3-3, play 4-3-3, Marco. Even do it with the players. We have to have Gabaman in there to play 4-3-3. We have to have Gomez back. You know what? No, you don't. I've shown it plenty of times what I wanted to play. I probably even still have it on here. I still probably have it on here. Let's go. Starting 11. This is what I would have done for the starting 11. What I would have done against them. You know what? So we got Tom Davis in there, okay? Yeah, he's a placeholder for Andre Gomez. Fabian Delph is a placeholder for JP Gabaman. Alex Iwobi, fine. Bernard, Moise Kean, Richarlison, 4-3-3. You know, that's what you could do, Marco. And then when the players come in, you do it that way. Show some balls, show some character, try something different, because obviously the same old shit is not working right now. Okay? And for the people that say give him time, he's had plenty of time. He's had 38 plus, he's had 44 games to get this instituted. Even if you'd have played it last season, we don't have the players. Try it anyways. Okay, so that is what I would have done. Try it out. If we would have got battered 4-0 at home to Sheffield tonight, at least I could put my hands up and say, you know what? I was wrong. I'm not a Premier League manager. I know shit about football. Even though I watch 9 to 10 games every single week in the Premier League, I watch basically 4 or 5 Champions League games and 2 or 3 Europa games a week. I study it. I watch the passing patterns. I see what makes a successful team. I see what people and supporters love about their teams. I see how teams like Norwich can beat Manchester City 3-1. I see also how Manchester City can beat teams like Watford, 8-0. I can see why Watford could come back against teams like Arsenal, because you're making mistakes or not making mistakes, playing the right formation or not playing the right formation, having the right mentality on the pitch or not having the right mentality on the pitch. I can see that. Jeff can see that. Ant can see that. Everybody that watches Everton on a weekly basis can see exactly where the problems lie, and it just pisses us all off too, because we do not try anything new. If it's the same old same, we expect the same old same, and we're never surprised when the result doesn't go our way. And then what, we're going to send out the cavalry, we're going to send out Seamus to try and placate us. We need to try harder. When you buy it, when you wear this badge, you're representing the club. And not. Yeah, we all know that. We can see that. You don't have to come out and tell us that. People, we're not idiots. You may think that because you're a professional footballer that you know better, but you don't. You don't know how it's perceived from the outside. Okay, you don't see how it's perceived from us. When we're watching a game and we know that we're going to do this certain passing pattern, and then we end up losing the ball or losing possession and then getting swamped in transition. It's not like we go, oh, I can't believe that move broke down. Oh, I can't believe it. That's good defending. It's not good defending when... it's not great, last-ditch effort defending when they're basically shepherding our players into positions that they want. Then they crash in. Then they make the tackle. They're already positioned to go on the counter-attack because they knew exactly what we were going to do, because they studied it and they put it into practice, and they're disciplined. And their manager gives them instructions, and they follow those instructions out to a T, and they believe in the tactics that the manager has given them. And that is how Sheffield United wins 2-0 away at Everton. That is how Everton loses 2-0 away to Aston Villa. That is how it works. Okay? You don't need to be a manager. You don't need any of that stuff to see it happen. I need to go back to my screen real quick. Okay, no, that's the wrong one. We'll get into that later. Oh, I'm just blowing it all up here because I've got everything down to... Okay, so we're back to the statistics, okay? Here we are. So if I read these out to anybody, and you can look at them and realize, okay, if I told you I came up to some random stranger in the park or down at the shopping centre or whatever, and I said, hey, the team that I support this weekend played a game at home in front of their fans after having an abysmal result a week ago, an embarrassing, pitiful, abysmal, completely shite result. Here's what we came out and what we did. We had 70% possession. We had 83% passing accuracy with 520 passes. To the opposition, who had 64% accuracy and only made 228 passes. We had 3 shots on target out of 16 shots. The opponent had 1 shot on target out of 2 shots total in the game. Our goalkeeper was 0 for 1 on saves. And then you can go through it. Okay, corners, we had 12 to their 3. Crosses, we had 42 to their 13. Touches, we had... 740 to 400. I could read the whole thing that's at the bottom there. Okay? And we could read that out and somebody would go, oh, you must have blitzed them. Oh, you must support Manchester City because they won 8-0 yesterday. And you say, no. No, peasant. No, it's not anything like that. That's not how it worked. We lost 2-0, even with all those stats. Okay, and when we went in at halftime, we were 1-0 down, and our opponent didn't even have a shot or a shot on target. And we were 1-0 down. The game ended with them having 2 shots, one of them on target, and winning the game. So, when people say Silva, needs time to bed in, that's not the problem. The problem is that we're not attacking enough, we're not confident enough, and we're totally inept and devoid of ideas when it comes to the final third. And at the back, we're an absolute disgrace and a shambles. Okay, because we lose possession so much in areas that the offense knows, the defensive team knows that we're going to go into. How many times did Luca Dean lose possession or get his cross blocked? Or the same with Seamus. How many times did they just force us to the outside? Or when we were going down the outside, they forced us to come back and go inside because they played 3-5-2, okay? Yeah, Everton, there you go. 3-5-2. The middle of the park is compact. There's no room to do anything. And Sigurdsson, anyway, is a complete, shadow of the player that, he usually could be or what he's supposed to be because he's not being played in the right position with the right players around him with the right formation, or maybe he's just past it, or maybe he's just not that great anymore. But Sigurdsson has no space in the middle. Delph had no time in the middle. Schneiderlin has all the time in the world because he's basically playing on the halfway line all the time. And yeah, okay, 2 defensive central midfielders at home. Fuck off with that. Okay, that is absolutely diabolical, and that doesn't give anybody any confidence. The fact that I and Jeff and Ann, and I'm probably saw Ian Clark, hey, by the way, Ian Clark, thanks for coming in, and Ian Clark probably saw that lineup. They didn't want Schneiderlin, halfway through the Bournemouth game to ever play again in this formation. We didn't want to play 4-2-3-1. We didn't want to play 4-3-3. We wanted to see something new, something ambitious, and something that would make the Goodison faithful at Goodison Park and the people watching at home and all around the world. Okay. That's what we wanted to see, something different. Then we see the team sheet, and it's like, oh, Bernard came in for Iwobi. Well, then what the fuck did Iwobi do to get dropped? That is not enough to change a couple of players. Okay, oh, well, Bernard offers us something different than Iwobi. Iwobi's positioning and Iwobi's play style and what Iwobi does for the team is not the reason that we're losing games and not showing up for games. So flipping Iwobi and Bernard, I don't know what the fuck that was. And then Schneiderlin starting again when people have been crying out and begging for Tom Davies just to give him a game, give him a half, give him something. See if we can change the dynamic in the middle of the park, because it says everything you need to know about a team when a newly promoted side comes to Goodison Park. You know what they're going to do. Like I said, 3-5-2. They're going to try and play out from the back. They're going to keep the middle of the park congested. They're going to try and play on the counter-attack, and they're going to try and take advantage on set pieces. I knew that because I've been watching Sheffield United, and I only watch it for 90 minutes. I don't go to any of their fan channels. I don't see any of their behind the scenes. No one's going around with McCormick cam while we're taking our squad photos, and I don't see them shooting and doing all the stuff that Everton FC official channel puts out to placate us. Oh, look, we're giving you behind-the-scenes access. You know what I want to see? Behind-the-scenes access at halftime at Goodison Park when we're losing 1-0, and what Marco Silva's saying to those shitbags in the dressing room. I want to see the mentality. I want to see the attitude. I want to see the heads dropped or the heads up high. What do people talk about? That's what I want to see, Everton, okay? That's what I want to see. Put it out there. Lay it bare for everybody to see. And if I can see that Marco Silva's getting in their asses and throwing shit around him, unbuckling and doing his tie, and he's got his chest hair hanging out, and he's just laying into them, and other players are like looking like they're up for it, and then they come out and don't do it. Let's just see it. Okay, let's see it. But no, I'm sorry, I just got completely lost. But yeah, so Bernard for Iwobi's not going to do it. Moise Kean for Dominic Calvert-Lewin's not going to do it. It's the 2 defensive midfielders, and it's the 4-2-3-1. That's the problem. Right? That's the problem. So I sit there and I sit here talking to all you fine people on YouTube. And we're having a good time. We're talking and we're chatting back and forth. And yet none of us have any hope. Right? Because we see the formation. We know exactly what play style we're going to have. We see it's going to be the same ponderous, half-ass Liam Crowley. What's up? Oh, 80 points in fantasy. That's pretty good. I haven't checked my score yet. But I definitely had Lundstrom playing, who got 12 points because he played Everton. And so here's all the stats, here's all of that, and it's just pitiful for some level. I wish I could come out and say a certain part of the game was good. But, I'll wait. I'll wait for 10, 15 seconds. Everybody in chat, Ian Clark, Ant, Jeff, Liam, give me one positive from yesterday's game, besides the fact that it wasn't more than 2-0. Let's have a positive of what was in the game yesterday. From the offensive side, the defensive side, the tactical, the managerial, the substitution point of view. What impressed you yesterday? I'll wait. Okay, 30 seconds, go. Where's my vape? Oh. Sorry if this is bad content, but don't care. Okay, there's an answer. Okay, Jeff says, nothing. Ant can't do anything, Liam says the crowd. Well, the crowd were pretty good for the first couple of minutes because the sirens were blaring. We were at home. We were that's what I'm talking about, right? Is that the crowd still gets up for it because we believe, even though deep down we're probably like, oh, this is a risky game, but you pay your money, you go into the show, you want to be entertained. You that's why you spend your money. You don't spend your money because you want to donate it to Everton FC, is there? The crowd is cheering because they're expecting us to have learned our lessons from the Bournemouth game. Seamus came out, team captain came out and said, we apologize. When you wear this shirt, young or old, you represent Everton. It's just not good enough. And then Marco comes out, we've got solutions, We played bad in certain situations of the game, in certain phases of the game. You know how Marco likes to talk. And we've learned. We spent a whole week in practice studying sometimes what we did against Bournemouth that could be improved on, studying the opposition, studying Sheffield United and what they bring to the table. We're working on that all week. Therefore, hey, if I'm getting this out to people and people enjoy this, I don't have anything on social media. I don't have any way of getting this out. If somebody wants to go post this on the Everton Reddit channel, or somebody wants to let their friends know who might enjoy this, say, hey, this guy actually speaks the truth. This guy is actually saying what most Evertonians, true, bleeding blue, faithful Evertonians, understand the mission of the club, want the best for the club, aren't just Johnny-come-latelys to the club, don't just watch 90 minutes at the weekend, don't do anything all week, and just watch the games. People that understand what we've been told from the CEO players, what we've been told that we want to do, the stadium and all that, and why we're bringing in players and, all this stuff, like what is going on behind the scenes, how we've helped certain players, like, why we got Andre Gomez, how we helped Andre Gomez last season, how players fit into the squad, all this stuff. If you understand what's going on at Everton Football Club and what they've tried to feed us as the journey over the next couple of years is, we're not seeing any of that. And we're showing up, you guys are showing up to the game every week, believing that our ambition is to break into that top six. Like I said yesterday in other videos, Chelsea lost today, for example. Tottenham lost to Leicester yesterday. West Ham beat Manchester United yesterday. Arsenal drew with Watford and barely got by Aston Villa today. The top six has been there and it's been open, and we knew that and Everton knew that, and they came out and certain people were saying, pundits or people that are in the know, people that work at the Echo, people that work all over the place saying, we can get into the top six. The top three is pretty solid, but those next three spots from third to sixth, they're wide open, and the only teams that look like they can challenge for that, Everton, because they've bought players, they've got exciting players, attacking players, they've got money now, they've got ambitions for the new stadium, they've got a great home record, their defense is sound. All the stuff that we were fed, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, none of it has materialized. Okay, we can go through the games. Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0. Should have won that game, didn't take our chances. There you go, 3 points lost. Okay, or 2 points dropped. I guess that way if you want to put it. And then Watford, we have we have less possession than Watford at home. We barely squeak by with a 1-0 victory. Then we go to Aston Villa and absolutely shit the bed and lose to them 2-0 for exactly the same reasons that we struggled in the Watford game. Exactly the same reason that we struggled in the Crystal Palace game. And then we come back home. Well, after Aston Villa, we have a League Cup game where we concede 2 goals to Lincoln City and have to come from behind and show that grit and determination. Oh, grit and determination and character against a League One side. Fuck off. Okay? And people have been saying that too. Oh, we've got fightness. No, we don't. We outclass people with the players that we have on the pitch. And we barely scraped by over 4-2. We gave them hope the whole time. We didn't just blow them out. You know, we conceded a goal after 1 minute at Lincoln City. So fuck off with that's a great result and shows true grit and determination. No, it doesn't. We should be spanking those teams. Easily spanking those teams. The scoreline was flattering to us, that 4-2. And then we come back home, right? And then we play Wolves. It's 3-2. It was a great game. Yeah, it was an exciting game. Yeah, it was a dramatic game. But we score, they score. And it's not like we score and then they, you know, slowly come back into the game and they go. No, it's like 7 minutes later. So bam, we score, they score, we score, they score. And then Richarlison ends up putting one in and we win 3-2. Yes, it's dramatic. Yes, it's exciting. But it's still a really, really shit performance for focus, for all the stuff I could be talking about. And all the games previous, the same issues that we have. Okay, oh, sorry, I need to show this again. And then we go away to Bournemouth. We all know what happened there. Shit the bed defensively, weren't good offensively, the same tactics, the same people playing, the same personnel, the same formation, the same substitutions, the same mindset, the same ponderous da-da-da-da-da. And then we move on to Sheffield United, and it's exactly the same. So what our expectations are is what the club has told us and what we hear from Marco and the senior players. I'll get into Mourinho and Wenger, but none of those two, Alex. I respect those opinions, but wait till the end of the video where I talk about what I'm going to do next week. And so what we expect is what the club's told us about our aspirations, the players that we're buying, the money that we've spent, the stadium news, all that, get us hyped up, gets us ready. And then we hear that, the top six is vulnerable and we've got the players to go on and do it. And all the pundits and Neville and Carragher and, you know, all the pundits on there, not Souness because he's a fucking shithead on so many different levels. Fuck you, Graham Souness. And, all the prediction tables have us like 7th and 8th or maybe challenging for that top 6 because of what I've said before. And then what Marco says when we lose a game. We're working on that. We're going to make, I'm going to make tough decisions. We're going to work on that. We're going to come out with more fight, with more passion, with more determination. We're 6 games into the season and we've got 7 points. We're 6 games into the season and we've lost away to Aston Villa, newly promoted club. We've lost at home to Sheffield United. We barely squeaked by Wolves, who are just as shit as Watford. And then we beat Watford at home, who just got absolutely slapped around 8-0 away to Manchester City. We barely squeaked by them 1-0. And then the Palace result. So we expect that we're going to have a team and a squad and a mentality, and all the players know that this is what the fans are expecting. And yet we're being let down on every single facet of what we were told pre-season. What our aspirations. If you've got those aspirations and you've bought players that buy into that vision, where's the passion? Where's the fight back? Where's all of this? It's not there. So you look at these stats and it's absolutely incredible that we can lose a game like that. And I'm glad that more people should have walked out at the 80th minute. Okay? It was absolutely diabolical. And I said in my reaction video for Toffee TV yesterday that what I originally planned is that when we have a shit result like that, I put the Archie the Wolf mask on. We had an issue, well, not an issue, but I was debating whether I should do anything like an Archie the Wolf. But then my friend Jeff here, we had a discussion about Marmite and things like that. And people miss the wolf, but I have to tell you guys, it's not easy putting on that mask. It is hot. I've got 2 500-watt lights that shine down on me, and I get worked up and the blood's pumping anyways from doing these videos. And then I've got to put the mask on, and it's just draining. And like I said, why should I put the effort in when the Everton club themselves that I'm making videos about to a very small, very loyal though, very intelligent, high IQ, footballing IQ audience that I have with great opinions, great diverse opinions, and very calm and eloquent and also very civilized in my chat. So kudos to all of you guys. Very small audience. Wish I could grow it. If anybody has an idea how I can grow it, that'd be great. Or if you can spread the word, that'd be also great. But why should I put forth the effort? Okay, the graphics are nice and this is all nice. But that's the bare minimum. I'm not going to get up here and give myself a headache and get my blood pressure up, screaming and yelling with Archie the Wolf on, because that's for instances like last season when we were going on a good run and then we lose 2-0 away to Fulham when we could have been qualifying for Europe. Like, that's an Archie the Wolf thing. This is the same shit for 6 weeks. Okay? Tell my friends I don't have any. Same thing with me. But my thing is, people, whenever I make an opinion or I say something, it's like, oh, you're speaking for Evertonians, you're speaking for what most of us feel. You go and look at people in the Echo or people that do the podcast, they don't want to ruffle any feathers, right? They don't want to go too in on certain players because they might be accused of being racist or sexist or ageist or xenophobic or whatever. So they just say, in very mild platitudes about what's going on. They try and put on this highbrow, hoity-toity, I'm a professional footballer, I was a former professional footballer, or I was a manager, therefore my opinion is totally valid. No, you've got to get in their asses when they're playing like this and doing stuff like this. And more people should come out and say it. But no, we're going to get started. They won't send Seamus out midweek. Who are they going to send out? Gylfi? Probably send out Gylfi. Maybe send out Michael Keane. Let's get a little sympathy for the players. No sympathy for the players. No sympathy for the coaching staff because there's no valid reason that all the players are half-assed, that all the players, are lacking a certain drive and a certain ambition. The players aren't coming out and saying, hey, boss, this formation is absolutely shit. Okay, it's absolutely shit. We're not happy playing this formation. We've got together. I know you don't want to lose the dressing room. You don't want to have a mutiny, but you can at least knock on the manager's door. Seamus knocks on the door. Delph knocks on the door. Somebody that's got the respect of the dressing room walks in and says, hey, boss, we got to change this shit. Okay, it's absolutely horrendous. I don't enjoy playing it. I don't enjoy losing in this. I don't enjoy anything about this. Here's how I think that we could be better. Okay, or whatever. Do something. It's absolutely shocking and it's absolutely horrible. So that's literally all I have to say about that game. Is absolutely shit. That's it. That's all of it. But I did want to get into what I'm going to be doing this week. Usually I just put out random videos because I'm trying to find a certain niche and a certain thing that I like to do. So this is the new thing that I'm going to be trying, okay? Are you all ready for this? We are going to do something like this. I am going to do 5 different videos this week, one for each day of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And by the way, I'm writing off the away game in the Cup to Sheffield Wednesday. Because even if we win that game 6-0, I don't give 2 tosses, okay? If we should be beating teams like that, if we should be having a Cup run, because that's what we were told at the start of the season, we're going to look into going far in the Cup run, because that's an easy way to qualify for Europe. It's going to give us a piece of silver. And before I get onto that, what about those Sheffield United supporters? You were at the game, boys. Some of you were. What about that? You haven't won a trophy since 1995. Absolutely getting bantered by Sheffield United. And then this city's Sheffield is red, and so is this city. Like, they were getting on us at Sheffield United last season, playing in the championship, absolutely bantering us at home. Not only with the football they played, not only with the tactics they bought in, but their supporters were giving it some. I'm not just talking about a couple in a chorus, just giving it to all of you. How did you feel? Yeah, it should have pissed you off so much, right? It should have pissed you off so much, but they had every right in the world to do it because they absolutely gave it to baby. They gave it to him. Anyways, back to this. 5 videos this week, and these are the things that I personally am going to focus on. Okay, starting with the season so far. I am going to talk about basically what I've just talked about. The season so far. We're going to go into average stats for each game. We're going to go into average possession and shots. Who's playing in everything. The season so far. Just be a general roundup of how I feel about the season so far. And then the next video that's going to come out is one that's going to focus on the players that we bought in. Do they fit into the system that Marco said that he wants to play? And then what's the identity of this team? Okay, certain teams like Manchester City, they're all really good players. They pass around a lot. They're really smart, high IQ players, and da-da-da-da-da. And you look at teams like Sheffield United, for example. What is their identity? Their identity is, hey, we don't want to get fucking relegated, but we're going to show up. We're going to play our game, our 3-5-2 or 3-5-1-1, however you want to look at it. We're going to invite teams, and we're going to put them into areas of the pitch that they We're going to let them get into certain areas, get close to areas on the pitch that they feel comfortable in, and then we're going to crash on them. Then we're going to try and take the ball, and then we're going to transition quickly. Lots of teams do that. Or you can take a team like Newcastle. Their identity is basically you sit back with 2 blocks, and you play on the counter-attack, and you do damage limitation the whole time, right? So what is our identity? What is a player mentality? What does it look like the players give a shit about? Do they look like they give a shit? What's the classic example of a player that doesn't actually look like they want to play for this badge 100% week in, week out? Who do? Who needs to go? Whose time's up? Where do we need to improve? All of that stuff. And then the next one we're going to go to is the tactics and formation one that I'll be talking about, probably on Wednesday. So the formation, what's Marco said he wants to play? What has he bought the players in? What formation did the players that we brought in? Oh, no, not only this season with Iwobi and Gabamin and Ken, but the players that we got that we brought in before last season. Do they fit into what we've been told Marco wants to play? And can these players gel together? And what's where's the proof or lack of proof they can play? And in the tactics, why do we keep persisting with a 4-2-3-1? Why do we keep persisting with the substitutes that we bring on? Why do we not bring in Tom Davis? Why are certain players always playing? Why are we playing 2 central defensive midfielders at home to a promoted side? Is that right or wrong? Am I a complete nonce? Are you complete nonces? Do you guys not understand football one bit? Or do you understand it very, very well? And that's what pisses you off even more. Getting onto that, we'll talk about Marco Silva and management maybe on Thursday. What was said about Marco Silva prior to coming in to the club? What was his record and results before that? What does his management style look like? Is he a coach that can get the best out of players? Can he nurture players? Or does it appear that he can nurture players and get the best out of them? Is he playing players in their right position? Is he being too stubborn with his tactics and his squad selection? So we'll get into that. And finally, on Friday, we'll be going forward, not up the pitch, obviously, but what after we've talked about all that, how do we see the season going forward? These are all going to be live. But live here is, like 7 p.m., so it's like 1 a.m. in the morning, so as much as MNE, I have to explain that, Pepper, welcome, by the way. And so we'll be talking about because the Manchester City game is coming up next weekend, right? And let's just say we're not going to win that game. Sorry, I got distracted again. Our expectations aren't going to change unless the club comes out and Marco comes out and says, hey, you know what, guys? Yeah, well, you're going to come out, guys, and our aspirations now. If we're not going to have, so you know what, the cup run, we might beat Sheffield United Wednesday, we might not beat Sheffield, but let's just assume we beat Sheffield Wednesday, right? It's like, we're going to focus on staying in the Premier League this season, because that's what it's going towards right now. I don't want to alarm anybody, but we're not getting anywhere close to that top 6 or breaking into it. We're barely looking like we could do anything in European places. Yeah, you can come at me and say, well, Mr. Archer, it's only 6 games in. 6 games in is a pretty fucking reasonable time frame to examine the players, examine the tactics, examine the manager, and the opposition that we've played. Pretty good barometer of what we're going to be doing this season if we don't pull our thumbs out of our asses and do something, okay? So, going forward, what are we going to be expecting? I'm still expecting us, unless somebody comes out and changes, I'm expecting us to get into the European places. I'm expecting us to at least get 7th, maybe break it into the top 6. The banter going on. And, I'm still expecting us to change formation. I'm still expecting us to get faster in our play. I'm still expecting us to work, to get better at what we're doing. But there's been no proof of that yet. And going forward, I guess, should I lower my expectations so it can be on record? I do it for you, do it for Jeff, do it for Pepper, do it for Ian, do it for everybody. And I can be on record, and I'll put it up every single time. And I'll say, you know what, I'm lowering expectations. Because right now, be honest with you, said this on the Toffee TV reaction, I'm strongly looking at the points that we have, and I'm always looking at the table to look at how far away we are off the 36 to 40 points that we need to survive in the Premier League. I'm not looking at European place. I'm not looking at top 6. Right now, I'm looking to see how many points we have and how close we are to being safe for the season. Throat's a little sore. Sorry, everybody. So that's basically the whole thing for today. Like I said, all this stuff is coming up later in the week. Oh, doesn't seem too much of a challenge at work next week. Should be a pretty easy one. But Jeff says, I don't have expectations anymore. I've lost all faith in this project. I really don't see any kind of sign that Marco could turn it around. He looks lost and out of his depth. That's one thing that I'm going to get into. I can't say I'm not. I agree with that, but I'm still not 100% sure what the problem is. Because if it's on Marco and his tactics and his personnel, I understand that. But these players are all professional players. Okay, they've been around for the longest time. They've all come through academies. They've all come through like a certain level of professionalism, a certain level of determination, a certain level of commitment to the club is required. And I'm not seeing that. Okay, so are they too cocky? Are they too confident? Are they completely shot of confidence because they know the formation is not working? They know the selection of players isn't right. They know that the manager is not making the correct decisions. Because Morgan Schneiderlin is not going to walk up to Silva and say, hey, boss, why are you playing two central defensive midfielders? Why am I out there when we could be doing so much more to get the ball up the pitch, more creative players, players that can pick a better pass, players that move well and break beyond the lines? Why am I in the team, Senor Marco? I don't want to be in the team. Take me out. We're at home to Sheffield United. Why am I in there with Delph? Why is it not Delph and Tom and Iwobi or any other type of combination of midfield players? I'm not understanding, boss, why I'm in the team. I think it's very negative, and I think it sends out a wrong message to the Everton faithful. Morgan's not going to go out there and do that, is he? And neither is... fuck Manchester United. I'll tell you that right away. Okay, this is for you, Pepper. See, my least favourite team in the world is Manchester United, okay? Not only, I mean, they dominated for the longest time, but they dominated because, you know, money and lots of other clubs weren't really challenging. They were like number one for the longest time. But the simple fact that I've hated them even more for the past 6 years is because Fergie left and they had no backup plan, no director of football, bringing in David Moyes, stealing him, I guess, from Everton, bringing him in there. And the only reason he got that job is because he was Scottish. I don't want to hear anything else about why David Moyes was brought in as a replacement and a successor to Alex Ferguson. Because he's fucking Scottish, okay? That's the only reason. And then that doesn't work out, and they fire him too soon, in my opinion, but then they start drifting off. You know, and they take Fellaini, and they take, you know, other bad players from other teams. They had no rebuilding process. They had nothing in line. They didn't really realize how important Ferguson was to the mentality and the strategy of that. And then they bring in Van Gaal, and then they just start bringing in all these players that don't fit. Ramadal Falcao, and they bring in Di Maria, and they bring in Memphis Depay, and all these players that are just individual shit-hawk players that don't fit into the system, and then they ball it and do all that. And then they bring in Jose Mourinho, and here's where I'll get on to people saying Jose Mourinho for Everton. Go look at Jose Mourinho's Wikipedia page. It looks great. Okay, he's won lots of things. Won the treble at Inter Milan. Won the title at Chelsea multiple times in his two stints there. Won the league in Real Madrid. Didn't he also, he coached Porto? Took him to the Champions League final or won the... but that's why it looks good. But if you go look at the squad and you go look at the players that Mourinho had when he came in, he's a checkbook manager. You have to spend a shit ton of money to make Jose happy in order to win titles. Or you have to already come into a squad that's ready to go. The Chelsea squad, when he won it the second time, that was primed for a title. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid and other players around him, primed to win a title. Look at the team that he did the treble with in Inter Milan. Came in, that team was already good, didn't need anything but a little bit of coaching and, you know, a little bit of refining, and that was it. If Jose Mourinho comes into Everton Football Club, A, we can't afford him, and B, I do not want to see that shit pragmatic football at my club. I already see it. Okay, I don't want to see Jose Mourinho park the bus bullshit football. So get Jose Mourinho out of here. This is where we might disagree on a couple of things, but no. Not having Jose Mourinho. Not having another sullen, dull Portuguese manager, arrogant as shit, come to the club. Because the players aren't here, the money's not there, it's not even enough of a club to entice him or the prestige to lend to Jose Mourinho. So all the people yesterday that are all over bringing in Jose, you're in fucking dreamland. That's never going to happen. It's not going to fit. Just look at it. And this is another thing where it's a fucking... I didn't time out Jeff, did I? I don't know why it's doing that. By the way, I just gave Jeff moderation powers. Jose is a Jose fan. Exactly. But the trigger-happy people that just like to say, oh, go get the greatest and latest. When I see Ancelotti's name thrown out there. I see Jose's name thrown out there. I see Max Allegri's name thrown out there. I'm sorry, but have you looked at the players that they have, the formation that they play, the tactics that they employ on the pitch? Now, why do you think Ancelotti is coaching in Italy? Why do you think Allegri coaches in Italy? Have you seen the style that they play in Italy? Do you understand why Italian players take so long to bed into the Premier League, if at all? The pace of the game, the strategy in the game, the tactics in the game is absolutely different than the Premier League. So it's the same thing in Italy. And so there's certain managers that are successful in Italy that aren't successful in the Premier League. Certain coaches that are successful in France that aren't successful in the Spanish league. You know, look at it in total, and I assume that's what most football fans do. That they look at, they don't just go get to their keyboard and keyboard warrior this and this and I hate this and this is crap and look at the sentence that you're typing or that you're listen inside your head to the words that you're going to speak and see if they make any fucking sense. Jose Mourinho at Manchester United made zero sense, obviously, but at Everton Football Club and Jose Mourinho, come on. Seriously, it's an absolute fucking joke, right? So, no. And that's the thing, too. I don't think there's anybody out there right now that, A, would want the job. Maybe they would for the pay, but their reputation's going to be on the line. Okay? And there's no big managers that are going to want to leave their club and come to Everton. And no to Eddie Howe, by the way. I'm sorry, but Eddie Howe is a manager for Bournemouth, okay? That I think that's his level. He was always talked about going to when Jose left. Oh, Eddie Howe. What about Eddie Howe? Besides the fact that he goes out there and he puts his team out and they win a couple and then they ship 4 or 5 goals and then they win a game and then they don't win a game and then they draw a game and then they finish somewhere between 10th and 14th. Like, Eddie Howe is not a great manager. He's a great manager for the players that he's got, but Everton know that if we're trying to be a top 6 club, I don't think people have it because, we don't have any young English managers in the game. Eddie Howe's a young up and coming manager. We can't keep giving managers, because that's what we've done for the whole rest of the time. We either bring in managers that were semi-decent and played semi-decent football and and spoke well and probably kissed ass and presented themselves to be a really good manager, a really good vision. But look at, after Moyes left, Roberto Martinez. Roberto Martinez got relegated in his last season with Wigan. Yeah, they won the Carling Cup or the League Cup over Manchester City, but he got relegated. Am I wrong? Wait, I don't want to go look at it. I'm pretty sure that Roberto Martinez was relegated with Wigan before he joined Everton. Someone confirm that for me. I'll wait. Anyways, yeah. So that's that. And then you bring Koeman in. Oh, Koeman did some good things at Southampton. Oh, wow. He did well at Southampton. So who gives a shit what Ronald Koeman did there? And then he comes in, he's all hyped. He brings in his that we bring in Walsh from Leicester because he discovered Riyad Mahrez and that qualifies him to be a good scout. But then he has no idea how to bring in players, no idea how to scout players. We spend money on Klaassen and Rooney and Vlasic and Sandro and all that, and it's absolutely shit. And then we bring in we bring in Sam Allardyce to bail us out of not getting relegated, and then we play some of the most shit football I've seen in 10 years at Everton Football Club. And then he gets kicked out. And then a manager like Marco Silva, who got relegated with Hull when he came in. He had him playing better, yes. And we said, if he'd have had more time, Marco Silva would have got Hull out of the relegation zone. They wouldn't have got relegated. But they did. Then he went to Watford. And, decent season. And all of a sudden, halfway through that season when Marco's having a decent time and playing some decent football at Watford, we decide to sack Koeman, and we come sniffing around, and Marco basically loses his head, gets his head turned by us and the money and the prestige of coaching at Everton Football Club, and then their results start to flail out and sputter, and he ends up getting what happened. He comes to us eventually, and then we're in the situation we're in now. So where's the pedigree of the managers that we hire? It's all potential. It's all what could be. It's all what they say in their interview. And you should have a nice interview. You should get to state the plan. But if you say, you give me money, you give me a great scouting network, you give me the players I need, I'll get you the results that you want and meet and put together a team that can meet the aspirations of the club, the supporters, the board, the CEO, the investors, the sponsors. That's what you're bringing in. But there's no top-tier manager that's going to come to Everton FC that are going to actually want this job and be lured into it besides a fat fucking check. That's the only thing that's going to bring them in. And we don't have time to keep pussyfooting around with chopping and changing managers and trying to bring in the next best thing. Like Eddie Howe, no, sorry, not going to happen. It might work if you're, like Lampard had a great season at Derby. Now he came in at Chelsea, but he's a legend. You want to bring in Mikel Arteta? That could be an option for Silva, but I'd rather take Mikel Arteta over Jose Mourinho and Eddie Howe any day of the week. So, yeah, so that's it. I'll just put up one more time what the topics are going to be for this coming week. I am going to head off. My wife just got home from work, so I'm going to eat something and I'll leave you guys to it. But I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you coming in and having some banter, some questions, having a good discussion. It's almost coming up on an hour here. And if you ever have an opportunity to mention this channel to somebody, or somebody high up in the Everton social media thing, or anyone would like to give this channel a watch and see if they like the content or getting any new viewers in here, I'd appreciate that. I'm not very good at getting people to like me on Twitter or even follow me or listen to anything I have to say on Twitter. And on Reddit, and then, I might start a Facebook page, I guess I could, but, I guess just got to be word of mouth, and if I can get my views up and I can get my subscribers up, maybe YouTube's analytics will start pushing more of my stuff, but it doesn't seem very likely. Maybe just people just don't like it. That's okay. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you're new, like and subscribe. If you're a loyal, dedicated viewer, thanks for watching. Give us a like and let your friends know. Or your enemies, either way.